Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. As always, I'm your host Paul, and in this video we're talking about The Boys. With Gen V Season 2 now done and dusted, we're now heading into the final season of The Boys. We may have to wait until next year to watch how it ends, but Gen V, Eric Kripke, and even Anthony Starr have given us some major clues into what's going to go down. So grab a seat, you absolute slag, and listen to us predict what we think's gonna happen. This will contain spoilers from the comics as well, so if you don't want to know, then you know where to stick it. With that out of the way though, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into The Boys Season 5.
Oh, by the way, you're all f***ing welcome.
Okay, so Gen V ends with Marie and the kids having to go on the run after blowing up Ariana Grande's boyfriend. They've now joined Starlight and A-Train's resistance against Homelander. Meanwhile, Billy's out with Negan in his head trying to make a soup-killing virus. That last part has been cheekily teased by the name of The Boys Season 5 opening episode, which is titled, drumroll, 15 inches of sheer dynamite. Now if you know the comics, then you know it's none other than a reference to Love Sausage. It's also the name of issue 14 of the comics, which sets up Billy's endgame. There we learned that there was a way to blow up the Supes' head by using the V in their blood. It was kind of similar to what Newman did with multiple people on the show, but this was set off by a radio frequency. V hasn't been used that way in the show, and thus they engineer the virus in Gen V Season 1. It's something the lads try to use in Season 4 to kill Homelander. However, Billy stole the last remaining sample and drove off on his own after killing Newman, complete with his inner monologue, aka monkey egging him on. But yeah, tying back to the comics, issue 14 of The Boys saw Billy blow up loads of Supes' heads. This then set up his mission to want to kill all of the Supes, and anyone with V in their blood he basically saw as someone that had to die. In the comics, he classed every Supe as being evil and thought extermination was the only way. Even after Homelander's death at the hands of Black Noir, he decided it wasn't enough and that they all had to go. So he started taking out his old allies one by one, as they were the only ones capable of stopping him. This began with Love Sausage, who was one of his mates in the books. Though he hasn't been in the series, he has popped up from time to time. He was of course in Sage Grove in Season 2 and even recognised Starlight at Herogasm before arresting Mother's Milk in the Season 4 finale. So I think that Season 5 will open with Billy killing Love Sausage using the Supe virus. This might even be as he rescues Mother's Milk, but yeah, that's some more theories on that later. If he had a normal virus though, he could have just went to the doctors, and that takes us into today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by ZocDoc. So this one is for our friends in America. ZocDoc is a free, game-changing healthcare platform that connects you with top-rated, in-network doctors in your area. It's all online, just a couple of clicks, no phone calls, just straight to scheduling an appointment. With ZocDoc, you can easily search for and compare high-quality doctors tailored to your needs, then instantly book an appointment with a single click. Whether it's mental health, dental care, eye care, skin care, or beyond, ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc offers access to over 100,000 healthcare providers across nearly every specialty, showing real-time appointment availability so you can pick a time that fits in with your schedule. Most appointments happen within 24 to 72 hours, and same-day visits are also often available. No phone calls again, yeah, just straight to the point. Just click and book and address your health needs fast with no waiting around. Don't delay those doctor visits, just head to my link in the description and go to ZocDoc.com/heavyspoilers. There you can find and book a top-rated doctor today across various specialities. Just visit ZocDoc.com/heavyspoilers to explore their free, revolutionary platform and find the perfect doctor for you. Thanks. Now, a big question is, how is Billy going to survive long enough to fight? As we know, he's slowly dying due to the compound V causing tumours in his body. So how's he gonna survive? Well, I think that's where we connect things to Gen V. As we've seen in Marie, she can pretty much heal anything. She brought her sister back from the dead and gave both Polarity and Kate their powers back. She also healed up Godolkin, and so far, nothing has stopped her. So I can imagine she'll possibly be seen as a Hail Mary to fix Billy. The character dies in the comics after being stopped by Huey, with him saying that he kinda wanted to fail deep down. Billy loved Huey as he was like his little brother Lenny and constantly held him back from going off the deep end. So in his plan to basically wipe out all the Supes, Huey stepped up and finally took him down. It was a final way for him to save Billy from doing something that deep down he knew was wrong. Now when it comes to character deaths in Season 5, we can pretty much guarantee that Homelander's going bye-bye. Though it's the second to last arc, the Supe White House coup that sees Billy versus Homelander is how I see the series wrapping up. Anthony Starr has said goodbye to the character in a post on Instagram, so we do know for definite that the top Supe is not going to return in any spin-off, and is most likely dead, because yeah, his death is just the perfect way to end the season. Now in the comics, Homelander went on to try and take over the United States, and like the show, he believed that Supes were superior. Sick of Vought being in charge and controlling every aspect of his life, he went on to kill President Victor Newman, which brought him head-to-head with Billy. The pair then exchanged words before it was then revealed that Black Noir was actually a Homelander clone. He'd been held in place as a contingency plan in case Homelander ever went rogue. However, being unable to carry out his true purpose in life sent him insane, and thus he started committing atrocities as Homelander. He then photographed these and sent them to the Seven Leader, who obviously couldn't remember all the things in the photos. Obviously, this slowly made Homelander go crazy as well, as he was like, what's all these things I'm not remembering? But it made him go so bold to the point that he then invaded the White House. Thus, Black Noir was called into action. The pair then fought, and Homelander was killed by his clone, which left Billy to mop up Noir with a crowbar. Nearly all of the Supes who took part in the insurrection were then killed in a few gruesome pages. Now, as you guys know, Homelander actually killed Black Noir in Season 3 for not telling him the truth about Soldier Boy. So we then got another Noir. So that confrontation and reveal, yeah, that's completely off the table, and they've also just done like the exact same thing in a recent superhero movie that I'm not going to spoil, but I doubt they'll do that again. However, we do know that Soldier Boy is going to be coming back, and Kripke stated that his one goal is to kill Billy. I also wonder if throughout the season that's going to evolve, and he'll then be put in place as a contingency plan to take down Homelander. We also have Ryan as well, who, though not a clone, is the character's descendant. The season will also explore the father-son relationship between the pair, and the father and son relationship between Soldier Boy and Homelander. Because of this, I think Ryan will get involved in the Homelander showdown. Ryan got closer and closer with his biological father over the seasons, but he then became disillusioned with what he was doing with Vought. He accidentally then killed Grace Mallory and is out on his own for now. I think it would be very poetic though if Black Noir taking out Homelander was instead replaced with Ryan killing his dad. With Season 5 exploring the Soldier Boy Homelander relationship, having Ryan kill his own father would thematically work out really well. However, I do think that Ryan's soul will be on the line, and Billy might step in to stop him from becoming a monster. Now, while I believe there will be a White House showdown, it has to be said that Homelander pretty much rules America already. At Comic-Con, there was a teaser that featured the Supes saying that America is a safer, God-fearing nation. So the coup has pretty much already happened. That said though, I still believe we'll get a major Supes showdown. As we mentioned, GNV ended with the crew all joining the Starladders, and Season 4 of The Boys ended with Frenchie, Kimiko, Mother's Milk and Huey all being taken and locked up. Thus, I feel like Season 5 might open with A-Train, Starlight, Marie, Jordan, Emma and Kate freeing them. Things then might mount up in the Civil War that ends at the White House at the end of the season. Kind of like the movie Civil War. After this, I feel like Billy will then go back and forth unleashing the virus, but this will of course come with a choice. If he uses the virus to take out the Supes, then Ryan will be affected as well. It's a moral dilemma that is kind of even bigger than the comics, where he killed his friends and comrades. In the books, you know, the boys all had V in their veins, Annie did as well, but I think this goes far above that, with protecting Ryan being Becca's final wish. Beyond that, Kripke and Jensen Ackles have teased scenes that were apparently so horrifying that Ackles was left shocked. So there's some gnarly stuff about to go down. We could even see Homelander replace the current president Stephen Calhoun, which would mimic that iconic Vic the Veep death. But with the world as it is today, I really doubt they're going to show something that will kill the president. Instead, I think Homelander will just be at the White House, and they might play on some of the things from the comics. In the books, A-Train was also brutally killed by Huey just before the White House showdown. He was kidnapped by Billy, tortured for information, and then given to Huey as a present. Specifically to get revenge for the fact he killed Huey's ex Robin. They've obviously, you know, gone beyond that in the series, and there's been forgiveness, so I think that the scene will swap out the characters for like Starlight in the Deep, maybe. Now, with Homelander out of the way and Billy potentially dying, the big question you may have is, where does this leave Vought? Well, we kind of went over this in our Gen V breakdowns, but I think Stan Edgar will return as the head of the company. Stan was put in prison after Newman pinned the crimes of Vought on him, and this was so she could protect Zoe from Homelander. Billy then tried to strike a deal with him in season 4, only to send him back to jail. Luckily, his adoptive daughter, Victoria Newman, then freed him. Since then, he's released Zoe from Red River and is living out his days in his fancy bunker. In Gen V Season 2, he then saved Marie to use her as support for when he regains control of Vought. However, that went up in smoke after he learned that Thomas Godolkin was still alive. I think that Stan will no doubt return though, and get his wish of taking over Vought once more. Comic readers will also know that he's much more like James Stillwell than the show's version Madeline. He's belittled Homelander just like how Stillwell did, and is still every bit the company man that the comic Stillwell was. In the comics, once Homelander's uprising failed and Billy was dead, Stillwell survived like a cockroach in a nuke explosion. He then became an off-the-books consultant for the company, whilst the comic counterpart to Ashley took the fall. Vought then rebranded to American Consolidated and was still able to put together a super team. However, he became distraught when he realized that Compound V was simply a bad product. They'll always have the same problems that they had with the Seven and the rest of the Supes, because yeah, egos will flare, people won't hit the thumbs up, and they won't even check out our merch store below where you can get more of a discount the more shirts you buy. Lots of Gen V inspired shirts on there like the Avenue V one, the Godolkin University, and it all goes towards helping videos like this get made. However, upon reading the comic again, I found this line very, very interesting. It hints that Vought still exists in other countries who simply don't really care about what happened in America. Amazon, of course, have The Boys Mexico being worked on right now, and that will feature Diego Luna. I think we could see Vought head out to that country and help them form their own super team. You could even see the Supes as being like an allegory for the arms race. America had the Seven and Homelander, who were the most fearsome of them all. So if a country who's poorer than the US can get hold of, let's say, a nuke or a soup team, then they can finally challenge the global powers, especially if Homelander's dead. We also know that the Boys world will continue, as Eric Kripke said. I think the universe post The Boys Season 5 is such a fascinating universe, there's lots to explore. It's so much more of the Wild West in terms of like, fucking anything goes without giving anything away. So it seems like we will get to see a world where perhaps America isn't the front and center of the soup world. However, he has said that they have a plan for Gen V Season 3. Does that mean? Yeah, we could get Gen V the new class, but I think seeing the kids post Soup Civil War would be really, really interesting. Either way, Homelander is definitely not going to return whatsoever. We also have Ashley out there somewhere in the wild who's going to be a bit of a wild card monster. In Gen V Season 2, Sage mentioned Ashley was still in the tower, so I can't wait to see what new horrors await. They did kind of replace her with the B-girl at the start of Season 2, but then we didn't really see anything after that. We might also see the setup for the prequel series of Vought Rising, which is going to follow the early days of Soldier Boy and Stormfront. That will be all going down in the 50s, and presumably it will see the early Supes face off against like the USSR or something. Well, I say or something, yeah, we do know the first episode is titled The Red Scare, so yeah, makes sense. Eric Kripke has said it's like an LA Confidential style story set in the 50s with some of the celebrities of the day. One of the comic characters' bomb site will also feature in Season 5 of The Boys. I'm guessing that's probably going to be part of a flashback, and he has been name-checked in the show before. The V52 panel showed us a poster for one of his movies, and thus I think that might set up Vought Rising. Supernatural alumni Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins will also be in Season 5 in undisclosed roles, so it's anyone's guess as what it is they're up to. Lastly, I think we may see Sister Sage on the wrong side of Homelander. She's been the true power behind his rise to ruler of the United States. He thought he'd messed up in Season 4, only for it to then be revealed it was all part of her secret plan. But with her secretly reviving Godolkin and then him hopping to a live stream to reveal himself to the world, she is kinda screwed. Homelander was lighting up her phone as well, and he must be furious there's been a second massacre at Godolkin University. Not to mention, the founder of the university has come back from the dead. He's killed Black Noir for hiding the truth in the past, so I do think that Sage's days might be numbered. She might even end up joining the rebellion and striking at Homelander in a different way than what you'd expect. However, it could all be the fifth layer of Sage's plan, and she might even drop a "I did it 30 minutes ago" type thing. She's always been like, our plans are measured in centuries, but her teaming up with the Resistance would be an interesting story, I think. In the end though, whatever happens, I'm super excited to see how the main show will end. Especially as Soldier Boy will be returning. Oh, I will of course be back to cover that though, and huge thank you for following me through Gen V Season 2. Please drop a like on the video, please sir, and drop a comment with all your thoughts below. If you want to follow us on Instagram and keep up to date with what we're doing, then also make sure you check us out at Heavy Spoilers. Did you know as well that members of the channel also get early access to videos? If you click the join button, you get at least one breakdown a week before anyone else, and it costs just 99 cents a month, but goes a long way to helping the channel out in massive ways. So yeah, thank you to all you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. And if you want something else to watch right now, there's a breakdown on screen. I think that's going to be the Gen V Season 2 finale breakdown. So if you haven't seen that video, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you here in the first place? Yeah, go check that out. Lots of Easter eggs, lots of stuff in the comics, and hopefully I'll see you over there. With that out of the way though, I've been your host Paul, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.